Imagine using all of your effort to get a woman's respect just to have it elude you in spite of your best efforts. Many guys make the mistake of thinking that unending generosity, lavish presents, and gaining a woman's admiration requires consistent attention. But unfortunately, this strategy can quickly result in your own emotional distress, in addition to failing to accomplish your aim. Breakdown. In this video, we'll address this misunderstanding directly using a strong fusion of Stoic theory and useful guidance. We'll examine how you can make a woman truly regret what she did and put an end to her disdain. It's not about playing, it's about being loyal to yourself and keeping your dignity. Games or pursuing vengeance. It's about taking back your dignity and establishing clearly defined limits. Get ready to question conventions and learn how to take charge of your circumstances. This is not for the weak of heart. Rather, it is for those prepared to adopt a Stoic attitude and change the way they communicate. Are you prepared to take back control and demand the respect you are due? Click the subscribe button to join us as we examine the way to eradicate disrespect. And let's start with rebuilding your self-esteem. 1. The well is no longer filled. First, let's not mince words. The well has been exhausted. You are to blame for this woman's behavior. So it's time for some serious conversation. Has become disrespectful to you by acting as though she is superior to you, giving her presents, unending attention, and assurances that have no. You've persuaded yourself that by taking these actions, you'll somehow win back the respect she's long ago given you. Discarded, but the harsh reality is that this strategy is not just foolish, but destined to fail. Every time you invest your hard-earned cash in accommodate her, every time you go out of your way to win her approval, you're giving her the unmistakable impression that she can control you without any effort by your behavior. You're implying that she only needs to. You'll come running if you display a little coldness or disinterest. Eager to provide more, she has discovered that she may obtain what she desires with little effort, only by taking advantage of your need for her acceptance. And believe me, she will continue taking use of this as long as you permit it from a Stoic standpoint. Behavior is a sacrifice of your own authority and dignity, not only self-destructive. St. Chisholm teaches us to respect ourselves and recognize that outside. For a lady who expects bribes, approval is pointless, especially from someone who doesn't appreciate the US. Is not merely playing games, she is also deceiving you in return for respect. Understands what she's doing, and as long as you continue to provide this dynamic with, how do you change this? The answer is that you're becoming more and more dependent on others. Resides in adopting a Stoic mindset. Simply stop spending your time and money. Spend effort on someone who obviously doesn't respect you by using up all of your resources. By shutting off the supply, you take away her ability to control you. When she recognizes that her strategies are no longer working, she will be left perplexed and uncertain of what to do next, and she will begin to ask yourself why you're not reacting to her signals anymore. This is where dynamics power comes in. Moves in your favor. A Stoic man who recognizes the distinction between you cannot be easily duped by genuine enthusiasm or interest motivated by material gain. Must cultivate this emotional understanding and implement it right away to cease becoming the money dispenser, giver, and door for someone who has only treated you with disdain. By stopping along this route, you're regaining your rights rather than merely shielding yourself from more insults. Lose self-esteem if you keep attempting to win her love and respect, exposing yourself to a lifetime of unrelenting disappointment and disrespect from her. My friend will lie to place the blame on her, knowing that she can get away with it if she needs something. Number 2, right on your shoulders, is showing indifference. From a young age, we learn that disregarding inappropriate behavior, and in every aspect of life, Rewarding positive conduct is essential, whether you're training her. This idea is valid when it comes to pets or managing human relationships. However, many males sometimes overlook this important lesson in love relationships, especially when a woman starts to demonstrate them disdain. Let's pause to consider Stoic philosophy, which highlights inner strength, self-control, and mental power. For many men, what is your natural reaction when a woman treats you badly? It's to frantically pursue her in an attempt to reclaim what they think is slipping away, is where a crucial error occurs rather than a response. A Stoic person might suggest that one of your most important emotional traits is to exercise indifference. Powerful tools. Suppose you're dating someone who begins to treat you badly and make fun of you. Your natural response to her disdain could be to put in more effort to get her acceptance, believing that by doing so you can restore the relationship. But this just makes her bad behavior worse. You're effectively informing her that you would always be there to look for her, regardless of how she treats you. According to a Stoic, this is a serious mistake. Instead, embrace disregard for her disrespectful behavior, as well as the person she's developing into in the connection, by making her face a reality for which she is unprepared. Nobody understands the loss of control, especially someone who is used to. When you take your focus away, the person in the driver's seat prefers to be ignored. You bring about a significant change, and she starts to realize that her strategies might have friends or so-called relationship experts' encouragement isn't working for her. Efforts to manipulate or minimize you are not attracting you, but rather pushing you farther away. Nearer, this is where the true change occurs. The more you ignore it, the more power you get. When you get past the circumstance, she begins to understand that her actions, instead of pushing you away while keeping you in check, can be a potent realization catalyst for transformation. She might start to reconsider her behavior, not because she has unexpectedly gained respect, but because she understands that losing you is a real. The tactic is straightforward yet effective. If you want to make a woman regret not respecting you, stop focusing on people who don't deserve it, and demonstrating this by your behavior, that she shouldn't be able to control or take advantage of you, when she will definitely regret what she did, when she realizes she has lost your interest. Ultimately, it is her responsibility to show that she respects and values you, because you will be more than happy to move on with confidence if she doesn't. By believing in your own value, you exemplify the Stoic values of self-respect, inner fortitude and emotional self-control that allow you to resist manipulation, or, in doing so, you not only restore your authority but also obtain the third. When a woman disrespects you, take back your own authority. You deserve respect. 3. Take back your own power. Or brushes off your emotions. It could seem like her viewpoint is the last one. Word about your value, but in practice you're actually giving her your personal authority is more important than you may think. It appears that you're letting her control your feelings, choices, and eventually living a Stoic life is the complete opposite of what we aim for. Stoic philosophy instructs us to keep our thoughts and deeds under control. The important moment occurs when you make a critical decision, regardless of the outside conditions. Returning what has always been yours, your authority over your own life, begins. Knowing a fundamental tenet of Stoicism, no one has the authority to disparage your respect or act as though you're not deserving of it. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic philosopher, reminds us that we are in charge of our thoughts, not factors outside of your control. You realize that her disdain is simply an outside circumstance that doesn't affect your actual value unless you. If you want to regain your personal authority, you need to reassess your priorities and set clear limits, and don't let her disrespect for you control how you behave. or choices you have nothing to justify, particularly not to someone who doesn't. Remembering your inherent value is crucial in this situation. Anything that is firmly anchored in your identity, as Epictetus, another Stoic, and is not reliant on the views of others. According to a philosopher, it's not what occurs to you, but rather how you respond to it. Concerns. Stoicism instructs us to avoid being impolite or pursuing retribution. Get over your pettiness and focus on taking charge of your life. Concentrating on yourself and not settling for anything less than what you deserve, progress and well-being, you get a more lucid viewpoint, and you start to see that your value is determined by the standards you establish, not by her or anybody else. For yourself, as you take back your own authority, her viewpoint becomes, ironically, she might begin to hold on to you at this particular moment. To understand that she no longer has the power to dominate you, causing her to face the fact that she no longer possesses the same level of influence that she once overlooked. Yet this is the important moment when you recover your personal authority. You begin to draw in individuals who genuinely admire and respect you for who you are, individuals who can feel significant without demeaning others. This is the way to true emotional liberty and the basis of wholesome partnerships based on reciprocal respect. So take the required actions to reclaim your life and rediscover your value, and let go of people who didn't treat you with the respect you will understand that you are always the most important person if you do what you deserve. After your personal authority is restored in this novel, you will inevitably attract the respect and affection that was always truly yours. Keep in mind that no one can chain you, as Seneca once said, without your consent, around your neck. If you've come this far and discovered this video is really helpful, please leave a comment below with what you think. Regain the ability to inform us of how this content has affected you. We appreciate your input, which helps us produce even more useful information. Your assistance. Let's go to the fourth step. Here's a 4. Proceed truth based on Stoic wisdom. When a lady treats you disrespectfully, it usually comes from she senses your feelings because she thinks she can control them. Dependence, your readiness to comply with her wishes, and she takes advantage of it. Advantage, this is the point at which you have to accept accountability for permitting such a dynamic. To maintaining Stoicism teaches us to have control over our own thoughts and behavior, is paramount. You have the power to choose, but you cannot alter the actions of others. How you react in order to end this disrespectful loop, you need to demonstrate both that you have choices and are not constrained by her whims. Decisions that you don't mind making too frequently lead to guys becoming reliant on a lady who is constantly there and waiting, which only helps her maintain her conviction that she may treat you anyway. She pleases the Stoic. The best course of action in this circumstance is to remain true to your principles and make it apparent that you want a partnership based on respect for one another, not coercion. Let her go without punishment if she decides to play games or act in a way that diminishes your sense of value. If you're hesitant, focus your efforts on finding someone who shares your beliefs and appreciates you for who you are. You are making this choice to regain, not to play mental games. Your authority and establishing limits that demonstrate your respect for yourself by leaving a poisonous circumstance. You make a clear statement that you value yourself and will not accept anything less. If she genuinely loves you, she will understand that her you are being pushed away by rude behavior, and you are ready to move. On to someone who genuinely appreciates you. Picture a situation in which you inform her quietly and firmly, stating that you will not put up with being treated like an after some consideration. You clarify that you're sincere about establishing a meaningful connection, and that if she's not open to give yourself the respect you deserve, you're prepared to leave. This is a strong, Are you the one pleading for her at the point where the balance changes? She is now aware that you are a man who upholds his moral convictions. When a man rejects emotional manipulation, this change in dynamic frequently causes regret. After she realizes that you won't be managed or insulted, she could start to realize how much she is losing. She now understands that she needs to earn the respect she once denied. This isn't about being difficult to get. Rather, it's about showing that you value yourself too highly to let anyone else treat you poorly. Keep in mind that you are the most crucial individual in this equation. You should be with someone who values and respects you, not someone who doesn't think you're worth moving. Is more than just a self-defense measure. It's a statement of your dedication to live in accordance with. Don't look back at your own standards, because there's a chance that you'll find a connection that genuinely acknowledges your identity. Number 5, and embraces the strength of 5. Accept the strength of letting go. The hardest step is letting go, but it's also the most freeing. Don't reluctant to let her go. We discover in Stoicism that the things beyond our inner serenity shouldn't be dictated by control, as contempt and disrespect frequently do. The symptoms you're feeling are unmistakable signs that the relationship is over, and hanging on would only increase your suffering and anguish, and the fear of loneliness or loss can cloud your poor judgment, prevents you from seeing the reality that is in front of you. Going isn't about giving up or being weak. Rather, it's an act of bravery and self-respect, shows that you recognize your own value, deserve better, and that in the event that she declines, you are deserving of respect and honor. To let you know when it's time to let go, the reluctance to do so frequently stems from an anxiety over not finding someone better or failing to find someone you'll stay by yourself forever. But in reality, by letting go, you make room for new relationships with those who truly value and respect you for who you are, not simply what you can offer. When you eventually release the dread that has imprisoned you, think about this. When she begins to recognize what she has lost, she frequently feels the emptiness of your departure, and she will regret the contempt and deeds that lead to it if she still harbored any true feelings. To this stage, but keep in mind that releasing go isn't about forcing her to regret. It's about taking back your own health and liberating yourself from a circumstance that saps your vitality and prevents you from being happy. We are taught to concentrate on the ways in which we can influence our own ideas, behaviors, and responses by letting go, you are no longer constrained and recover power over your life and emotions, hostage by someone else's behavior or views. And this goes beyond. Don't let walking away stop you from moving toward a better version of yourself. Letting go could signal the start of a new, more rewarding chapter in your life. Chapter of your life, having the guts to let go of things that don't serve you anymore, and you'll discover that life will provide you with something much more superior and more. Remember that you're never really alone. By letting go of things that aren't right for you, you're creating new opportunities for yourself, relationships, and a life where you are ultimately appreciated for who you really are. Finding the best way to make her regret losing you isn't the greatest power. The 6th step is to create a life of dignity and self-respect. 6. Develop a life apart from the partnership. One of the most serious errors that many men make outside of relationships is focusing their whole life centered on a relationship, particularly when confronted with contempt, or when a spouse shows you contempt. Your instinct may tell you to work more harder to keep the relationship intact, believing that if you put in enough effort, sacrifice enough, or demonstrate your worth, you can regain her love and respect. But this way of thinking is risky. According to Stoic philosophy, the first trap is one that you should avoid at all costs. The key to leading a happy life is to concentrate on the things you can control and allow. By making the relationship the focal point of your life, you are letting go of what is not, giving up your authority to someone who no longer respects it. This act of not only does she view self-abandonment as a weakness, but more significantly, yourself, undermining your self-esteem and strengthening the negative. Consider this dynamic that is already at work. You are an expert craftsman, able to produce lovely things rather than perfecting your craft and constructing something worthwhile. You invest putting all of your effort into fixing a broken tool that becomes less useful the more you use it. You have less time to build something fresh and worthwhile, and the same is true for a relationship that has. The more you put into it, the more you will become a source of hurt and contempt. Disregard your own development and potential. The Stoic strategy is to focus your energies on enhancing your personal life outside of this tumultuous relationship. Concentrate on your personal growth, such as developing your profession, following your passions, or taking up pastimes that bring you happiness. Fortify your current friendships, establish new ones, and look for opportunities to expand your horizons. By doing so, you show that your contentment and pleasure are independent of other people's approval. This change in focus not only helps you regain your sense of self-worth, while also sending a strong statement that you are a guy who commands respect by leading a life of integrity, is not one who pleads for it. Integrity and purpose. And when she notices that you are no longer acting out the part of a desperate partner holding on to a relationship that isn't beneficial to you, dynamics will start to change, and she can start to doubt her own actions and regret how she has handled you. But the most crucial aspect is the real. The key to victory is not her remorse, but rather your own growth by leading a life that it is rich and satisfying regardless of the relationship you reclaim. You will be ready to move if you have the strength and clarity to understand what really matters. Moving forward with honor, whether that means letting her try again or leaving without a backward glance, keep in mind that the Stoics taught us that by concentrating, we might discover our actual power within. On the things you can control, including your behavior, development, and mindset, you are free. Release yourself from the bonds of negativity and become into a person that others naturally admiration and respect. And most of all, you won't ever need to plead for someone's that she has crossed a boundary that you will not permit to be crossed again, and she might begin to recognize your strength, resolution, and consequently regret her behavior. Ultimately, respect is a reciprocal trade, but it must begin with you as soon as you decide to value yourself. The time when people are forced to either appreciate you or risk losing you completely is the epitome of Stoic wisdom, remaining steadfast in your principles of staying calm and letting others deal with the 9th priority of the standards you have established. 9. Put yourself first. You've arrived at the last, most crucial and difficult stage. The most important choice you will ever make in your quest to restore your honor and dignity is to put yourself first. Seeking respect and controlling others' disdain during this journey, many people are unwilling to face the hard reality that you should never have to deal with. To put forth so much effort to get someone's esteem isn't the same as about her or if she will recognize what she has lost. The decision is about you, and how the most powerful decision you can make in life is to pick yourself. Taking decisive action is a declaration that you value yourself and will no longer trade your self-respect and dignity for crumbs of attention. By being yourself, communicate to the cosmos in a straightforward and unwavering manner that I am sufficient and whole, and I will only agree to things that bring honor and value into my life. Is the last straw. When you decide for yourself, you shut the door on all of the contempt, poisoning, and emotional blackmail that have sapped. For a long time you allow yourself to be who you are and pursue your true passions. Deserve, and to choose yourself, and not accept anything less. Set out on a new adventure where you are the protagonist and your necessities are your desires, and health come first. Think about the lessons of Stoicism, which remind us that our strength resides in our capacity to regulate our own responses rather than other people's behavior. By putting yourself first, you're adopting the Stoic attitude rather than simply ignoring someone who doesn't appreciate you. By adhering to the self-governance principle, you are deciding to concentrate on your behaviors, ideas, and self-esteem. Picture how you've been investing all of your energy in someone who takes you for granted and seldom recognizes your efforts, expecting you to wait and be there all the time. But you've changed your attention to put that energy back into yourself by pursuing your interests. When you look after your health and surround yourself with individuals that truly care about you, the dynamic changes. The person who used to treat you disrespectfully starts to notice the change. They feel the loss of your care and attention when they realize you're not at their disposal anymore, and in that, you've shown them what they've lost. And when they feel regret, they realize it. That being recognized by them does not determine your value. This is how you become a lady. Regret not showing her respect by attempting to influence her mind, but rather by by focusing on improving yourself. You can automatically create space and separate yourself from others who don't value you. As we close this, only those who genuinely value you can enter. Chapter. Keep in mind that the value, respect, and dignity you desire in relationships aren't dictated by others' behavior. But if there's one lesson to be learned, it's how you choose to view yourself. Let this be your motto going forward. You shouldn't ever have to fight for anything. Naturally, you should make that choice. The most significant choice you can make is to, when you prioritize yourself, there is no greater triumph than that. When you stand up for yourself and don't accept anything less than what you deserve, everyone around you begins to change. Understand your genuine worth, while those who don't will drift away. Value will approach. This metamorphosis starts within of you, and only you can start it. You are the one with the power and can influence your life. If you've reached this point and found this video useful, we'd love to hear it. Please leave a remark below, stating that I put myself first, so that we can hear from you, how this content has struck a chord with you. Your comments are very appreciated and beneficial to us. Provide even more beneficial information. I appreciate your aid. We have now embarked on a life-changing investigation of Stoic knowledge designed for individuals who are prepared. Final results to recover their self-respect and dignity in relationships, since we've shown that regard is not something that must be purchased or begged for. Rather, it must be earned with self-worth and an unwavering dedication to your values. Stoicism is more than just a philosophical idea. It is a useful manual that instructs us to concentrate on the things we can manage, such as our attitudes. Keep in mind that approbation is not the real indicator of your value of others, but rather from the fortitude and dignity you develop within yourself. By adopting Stoic values, you may make sure that your relationships are about giving as much as receiving respect. Firstly, let yourself know if this video spoke to you. Remember to like and share it. Your participation expands our audience. If you think these lessons could be helpful, please leave a comment below with your ideas or experiences about. We'd love to know how Stoicism may strengthen relationships. These tactics have affected your life, and if you're interested in learning more, make sure to watch the suggested videos that are currently displayed on your screen. They have been carefully chosen to improve your comprehension and the use of Stoic concepts in daily life. We appreciate your participation. Please keep in mind that one clear action is the first step toward respect and self-worth. Take a step toward realizing your inherent worth by subscribing to our most recent information, and until the next time, let's live a life of respect and dignity. Take caution and maintain your composure.